Coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. Economic issues are my number one thing. Border issues are my number one thing. DEI issues are my number one thing. We had Don Trump Jr. yesterday, and we finish up with Laura Trump today. Laura, Wayne Allyn, how are you? We got a big guest and a great interview today with Dr. Oz with us right now.
Good to see you. I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to see you. Always great to have you on the show.
Wayne Allyn Root, happy to see you again on the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne. Great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne. Good to be with you.
Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
Doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks, Wayne. I don't see myself as a hero. I'm just trying to keep this community safe. This is The War Zone, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. 2.5 million unique daily readers. Also on Rumble under Wayne Root, Wayne Allyn Root, or Warzone. Then on weekends, we got our big show, America's Top 10 Countdown on Real America's Voice TV. While everybody else is giving opinions, I give solutions. And some of them Trump takes, some of them he doesn't. I wish he'd take all of them. This is the Wayne Stream Media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne Stream Media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time, 3 to 5 p.m. West Coast time every day.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the Root's on fire. I got the whole nation talking about the crazy demon in Las Vegas yesterday who gave the invocation before the Clark County Commission. They have priests, they have rabbis, they have ministers, they have, what do you call the person who's a Muslim what? I don't know, whatever the hell they call them. They do them too. But they invited a Satanist from the Satanic Temple to give his speech, and now I find out he wasn't even a Las Vegas resident. He was imported in to give the speech. He flew in. Got a Facebook page with him. He's got horns on his head. The guy's a retard. How else would you describe someone who is satanic and has horns on his head and gives a speech about how the rest of us are all losers? You should have heard his little invocation, his version of a prayer. He gave a speech talking about every other religion in the world is nasty and mean and doesn't allow free speech. And then at the end he said, in the name of Satan. You know how you say in the name of Jesus? Amen? He said, in the name of Satan. And it's just so amazing to me. I wrote a column about it today. Hottest column at the Gateway Pundit, which is the fifth most popular conservative news site in America. And my column was #1 today by a mile. And I'll read you. I read it yesterday, but it was before I ever put it out. And I made some changes overnight. So it's a little different than it was yesterday. But I included a photo of this person. I'll be nice and say this person, this demonic person with horns on his head. Can you imagine if I did a show like this?
No, I can't.
Oh my God, I got choked to death. Oh my God. And you know, when I was a kid, I swear to you, when I was a kid, there was someone who was a real liberal in our classroom. and he was talking about how God isn't real and you're all fools. And at that exact moment, he was sitting on his desk, and the desk slipped out from under him, and he fell and hit his head on the floor and started crying. And I always remembered that. You know, the people who are against God, God sometimes lets you know that you're a jerk, you know what. And the next thing you know, you're on the floor bleeding. And this guy, here's the mistake everybody made. If only I had been there, if only someone had tipped me off and I knew, I would have screamed and led the crowd in screams so no one could hear a word he said. I would never have allowed him to speak the name of Satan at an official public meeting. A disgrace, an offense to every Christian and every Jew in America. And what a joke. I would have screamed until he could not speak. Or I would have made sure everyone in the room walked out. Everyone should have walked out, but no one had the balls to do it. You need a Wayne Root in the room to have the balls to do it. Or you know what I really would have loved to have done, if I had time to think about it, is I would have grabbed him by the arm and said, you're leaving now in the name of Jesus Christ. And I would have taken him out myself. Then he would have charged me with assault, and the police would have come, and I would dare the police to arrest me, and I dare Las Vegas to indict me, and I love to have a trial, and I would put the entire city on trial. The entire nation would be talking about it. I turned it into a circus, a national media circus. So I wish I was there, and I wish you would have arrested me. Good luck to all of you. I'll sue the city for $100 billion, and I'll own Las Vegas. Forget about the mayor of Las Vegas. I'd own this town. So next time, someone tip me off in advance, and I will personally take this mother trucker and pull him out of the place by his freaking horns. Got it? That's what horns are for. So I could pull you out of the room. And I dare you to arrest me and charge me with assault. I'll put the whole nation on trial. Boy, I'll have 100,000 people in front of the courtroom screaming on my behalf. And then on the other side will be a few people with horns talking about Satan and putting spells on us. Let me tell you, this country's at a boiling point. And if there's ever a civil war, I'm telling you, one side is going to destroy the other. You're going to wish you were never born. One side is all the guns, one side is the guys like me who work out 2 hours a day in the gym, and the other side has a bunch of little dandelions with two horns on their head. Oh my God, are we going to enjoy that one? It's going to be fun. And I've never recommended it, I've never pushed for it, I never urged it, and I've never motivated it, I've never said let's do it. I don't want a civil war, but if you want one, you're going to get one. And you're going to wish you never hoped for it, because when you get what you wanted, it's going to be the thrashing of your life. This guy should have never been allowed to open his mouth. Let's have that public debate. You say Wayne Root's against free speech? You know what? I'm all for free speech. Unless you're a communist, unless you're a radical Muslim, say I want to kill Jews, and unless you believe in Satan. Those three don't get free speech in the United States of America. And if you want to try me, let's go to court. Let's see who wins this one. I challenge you. I dare you. Tip me off. Let me know you're coming. And let's turn this into a circus the whole nation can weigh in on. So I rewrote my commentary. And I'm not going to read you the whole beginning, because the whole beginning is about how much I love Vegas and how much I love Summerlin, how much I love living here, before I weigh in on the city, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm dumping on the city I love. I don't want to hurt Las Vegas. So I gave a whole long scenario about how much I love Las Vegas, how much I love Summerlin. So now I'll pick up at this point. Obviously, I love Las Vegas, so nothing I'm about to say is an indictment of my town, Las Vegas. It's an indictment of Democrats in Las Vegas and Democrats across the United States, because I guarantee it's happening all over the USA, in your community, at your government meetings. Democrats have become the enemy within. This is not your father's or grandfather's Democrat Party. Today's Democrat leaders and activists are radical, hateful, violent, mentally ill communist traitors. They're not a political party anymore. They are a combination of domestic terror organization and cult out to destroy our country, capitalism, and religion through any means possible. There can be no compromise with radical, crazy, extreme, communist suicide bombers like today's Democrats. They are like an hysterical drowning man. When the lifeguard goes to save him, the hysterical drowning man panics and pulls the lifeguard down with him. They both drown. That's what Democrats are doing to us right now. If we try to compromise with them, they will pull us down and we will drown with them. Look at their cities. They're all third world holes out of a zombie apocalypse movie. That's why millions of Americans are moving to red states. They don't want to drown. There is no compromising with people who hate America, hate capitalism, hate Jews, hate Christians, hate white people, who are open border suicide bombers, and who are possessed by demons and dedicate their lives to Satan. And the proof was on display yesterday morning at the Clark County Commission meeting in Las Vegas. 6 of the 7 commissioners are Democrats because Clark County is a majority-minority population dominated by illegal aliens, and therefore Democrats dominate the Clark County Commission. Guess who opened this official government meeting with an invocation? Drum roll, please. The Democrat-dominated county commission asked a representative of the Satanic Temple to give the opening prayer. Yes, a Satan worshiper led the prayer to open a public government meeting, but Satan worshipers don't pray because they don't believe in God, so it wasn't even a prayer. This was literally a demonic Satan worshiper with devil's horns on his head. Look at the picture. This person has horns, and the Democrat commissioners all bowed their heads as this demonic witch opened the meeting. All I can say is, oh my God. These people are crazy and dangerous to us all. And the Satan worshipers are pretty bad too. So I'm talking about Democrats. Democrats in Las Vegas obviously think this is normal. This is their America, a land of demons, illegals, felons, abortions, welfare queens, non-binary genders, and don't forget illegal alien transgenders with AIDS and tuberculosis, and of course free health care. So of course we get stuck with the bill. But why would this surprise anyone? President Barack Obama and almost President Hillary Clinton, because she almost won in 2016, if Trump hadn't brought out the most white middle-class voters in the history of the world. So Obama and Hillary were literally raised and educated on Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. That was their playbook. That was their Bible. And on page 1, it's dedicated to the devil, Lucifer. Just a day ago, a female Democrat candidate for Congress in Texas publicly announced she wants Jews who support Israel and ICE agents arrested and put into prison camps and then castrated. Democrat judges allow murderers and rapists back on the streets without bail hours after being arrested. Democrat politicians give more love, support, money, and benefits to illegal alien criminals than to hero military vets or senior citizens. And don't forget New York City, the financial capital of the world, now run by a radical communist Muslim. Should anything surprise us anymore? So what happened at Vegas's Clark County Commission meeting should not shock anyone, but it should be a wake-up call. First, because if this is what they're willing to do in public without shame, Democrats aren't even trying to hide it anymore. Can you even imagine what evil they're doing in private? Secondly, it's time to acknowledge we've been invaded. We've been infiltrated. We've been sold out. We've been abandoned. We've been betrayed. We are facing the devil himself and his disciples. Democrats have sold out to Satan. Democrats are possessed by demons. What happened in Vegas yesterday morning doesn't stay in Vegas. It's spreading across this country. President Trump calls them Democrats, and they're certainly ignorant and clueless, but tragically it's far worse. They have become Democrats, and what they stand for and bow their heads for is pure evil. And it was on display at the Clark County Commission in Las Vegas yesterday morning. Pure evil. Forget the guy from the Satan guy. Forget they allowed him to speak. The Democrat commissioners bowed their heads like he was giving a prayer, like he's a minister. He's for Satan. Another great day from Trump land. The man is dominating politics. I love when people told me, Trump is finished. No one likes him anymore. He doesn't do anything right. He hasn't backed up his campaign promises. That could be why in every primary, whoever he endorses automatically wins. That could be why. By Kip Herage, my old buddy, and an economic expert, CEO of vertical research advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. You know, I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out, when to be aggressive, and when to take some profits, take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks. And we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. 5th and 6th generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets we think this bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herage, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
A judge blocks ICE agents from conducting arrests at immigration courts in New York. A federal judge issued a ruling on May 18th barring federal agents from conducting arrests at 3 Manhattan immigration courts. The ruling by U.S. District Judge P. Kevin Castell stemmed from a lawsuit filed by the New York Civil Liberties Union, of course, and other groups on behalf of the DOOR and African Communities Together, which sought to challenge U.S. immigration and customs enforcement policies that allowed federal agents to arrest people in immigration courts. Castell had initially declined, this is the judge, Castell had initially declined to block the policy last September, but the plaintiffs later filed a motion in response to a March letter in which the government admitted the 2025 ICE guidance does not and has never applied to civil immigration enforcement actions at immigration courts. All right, so Wayne Allyn Root, Warzone Live, you inspired me. I wanted to go see how many people actually read my column. It's the most read column of the year at the Gateway Pundit. For me, I don't know about every column in the entire Gateway Pundit. I don't have access to that. But I have access to how many people read my columns. It's #1 for the year. Up till now, you know, I've had about 10 million views in the last 3+ years. 10 million views of my columns, the Gateway Pundit. So that's a tremendous, tremendous number. My columns are #1 at all times on their site. But my average column gets somewhere between 15 and 20,000 views. This one is at 65,000 views for today so far. It'll probably work its way to 75, 80,000. That'll be the biggest of the year so far. And it just helped me get over the million number for the year. So now over 1 million views for the year 2026 of my columns at the Gateway Pundit. It also had 600 comments, second only to a column about Jews. I mean, it's so funny because I was telling Patar, my director, certain words, certain buzzwords get everyone's attention. Everybody in the world, oh my God, they want to read it if it's about Jews or the word Israel, Jews, Israel, or the word Obama. Well, I found a third one now, demons. Anything about the devil, Satan, and demons is very well read. So from now on, everything I write is going to be about Satan, Jews, or Obama. Everything I ever write about Obama is number one for the day at the Gateway Pundit. And for my lifetime, I've probably had more views on Obama columns than anything not probably, definitely. My Obama columns are the most read columns of the top 10 I've ever written. Like all 10 up until today were Obama columns. But this one might have broken the top 10. I don't know. It's somewhere near there. So very cool to find out that 65,000 people have read my column so far today. So far, it's early. All right, so the big news of the day has got to be what's going on in Iran. It's no joke, right? It's a war. It's literally a war. You might want to call it a conflict. You might want to call it a war. But whatever it is, it's far longer than we thought we'd be there. I thought we'd be out in 2 weeks, to be honest. My gut is always right. God, I'm batting as close to 1,000 as anyone in the history of the media for 11 years with my own radio and TV shows. I mean, I just hit it again and again and again and again. Bullseye, bullseye. Hey, I was wrong on this one. I thought we'd be out of Iran in 2 weeks, and they put their hands up and cry uncle and wave a white flag. And they're hanging in there. It's not that they're not destroyed. I was right. I mean, we've destroyed a lot of Iran and a lot of their military capability and a lot of their nuclear capability. We've done a damn good job, but, you know, they're a country that once you kill all their leaders, the next group comes up, you kill all them, the third group comes up, you kill all them, the fourth group comes up, and they're just as radical and insane and willing to die. They're just as suicidal as the first three groups. So it's kind of hard to beat someone like that. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You hit them in the head, and they pop back up again and go, hit me again. You know, they're like Sly Stallone and Rocky. Come on, hit me, hit me. Yeah, they just want to get hit again and again, so no problem. Drop a daisy cutter right on their heads. Trump is doing the best he can, but I got to tell you, I do think he's making a mistake drawing this thing out. Just go do it. Bomb them till there's nothing left. And again, the problem is we don't want to kill civilians because the civilians are mostly on our side and they want to overthrow this regime. So you don't want to destroy their lives. So that's the one thing that's been holding us back. But, you know, the Japanese wouldn't give in. So what do? We nuked them twice. We dropped atomic bombs twice. The Germans wouldn't give in under Hitler. No matter what, his general said, you got to give in. He said, I'm not giving in. So what had to happen? We had to firebomb German cities, Berlin, Dresden, Hamburg. We firebombed them until there was nothing left. Did you ever see the pictures of what the cities in Germany look like? There was nothing left. Entire cities were rubble. And so that's how you make people give up. That's why they criticize the Jews in Israel because of Gaza. There's no other way to win a war. There's no nice way to win a war. You have to turn the other country into rubble, and you have to kill so many of the other people, including, sadly, civilian casualties that you weren't aiming for, but you have to kill so many unintended and intended that they eventually pull up the white flag and scream uncle. You got to do it. And so the president says he will not back down. And Iran's Ayatollah says he won't back down. He's never giving up nuclear. Trump says we're never leaving till you give up nuclear. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how Trump plays this out. It's a tough one. You know, I'm admitting I was wrong. I thought we'd be out in 2 weeks. You know, I really never imagined we'd be sitting here 3 months later still fighting a war and still having no idea how to win it. But Trump, if there's anyone in the world that could find a way to win it, it's going to be Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump, President Donald J. Trump. DJT. He's the only one that could figure it out. All right. And by the way, Iran's controversial bill, the Iran's foreign ministry is evaluating this new proposal. But in the meantime, they've got a bill there offering $57 million bounty for assassinating President Trump. He's not going to take nicely to that. I think you're going to see Tehran turned into rubble. I don't think there's any other way to win this thing. Sadly, tragically. Be right back. A sex therapist, Democrat candidate for Congress in Texas, Maureen Galindo, she's called for transforming immigration ICE facilities into camps for American Zionists, including a castration center. And she wants to also throw ICE agents in there as well. Galindo's campaign, her name's Maureen Galindo, made a vile pledge she will introduce legislation to the effect if she gets elected to Congress. She'll write legislation so that all Zionism and support of Zionism is undoubtedly anti-Semitic, since it's Zionism harming the Semites, her campaign wrote on Instagram last week. These are very confusing people. No one knows what the hell they're talking about. She'll turn the Carnes ICE Detention Center into a prison for American Zionists and former ICE officers for human trafficking. It'll also be a castration processing center for pedophiles, which will probably be most of the Zionists. This is what she puts in our campaign literature. All right, Wayne Allyn Root, I am joined by Gordon Bond. What an honor. Owner of Bond Arms, one of the great gun manufacturers, all made in the USA, all made in Texas. His website is getbondarms.com. Gordon, what makes Bond Arms different from any other gun manufacturer?
Well, we when my brother started the company a long time ago, the regular Derringer, let me see if I can get it in the picture here, was basically known as a cheap, dangerous throwaway gun. This is a 1865 model. Derringers have been around forever. And what he did was take a dangerous gun and just made it very cool by better materials, trigger guard, interchangeable barrels, solid stainless steel. And Wayne, like you saw at the show, people love picking them up and just holding them. And it's just like, they pick it up and it's like, wow, this is like a real gun.
That's great. I saw it. My wife and I were at the show, and she's a gun aficionado even more than I am. And she said it was the best booth at the entire gun show. Out of thousands of booths was Gordon's booth, Bond Arms. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Bond Arms is releasing the American 250 edition handgun at a special price only for my fans. Tell us about it.
So one thing that we wanted to do, when I graduated in 1976, it was the bicentennial, and that's all they talked about all year long. And so when this 250th anniversary was coming up, we really wanted to do something special on this. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is the stainless steel version. It's 45 long Colt and 410 shotgun shell, very well built. I mean, our guns are built like a tank. People love the quality. They call it a hand cannon, best snake gun you've ever had. There's a beautiful side with the flag and the Liberty. And people just love the way that we do things. I mean, they'll come to our booth every year and just go, wow, what are y'all doing this year? You know, what crazy thing are you doing this year? So the American 250, we're really going to focus on that. We want to give everybody the opportunity to own a piece of history.
Gun. What a beautiful gun. What a gorgeous gun. The engravings. Wow. And I love that name, hand cannon. I want a hand cannon. Mine got delivered today. I'll have them for next week's show. My own personal hand cannon from Bond Arms. How do you get it? Go to getbondarms.com. See the number on the screen, getbondarms.com, or call 817-573-4445. See the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen for certain restrictions. Getbondarms.com. Gordon, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Proof from Las Vegas that Democrats are possessed by demons. They're not even hiding it anymore. So this story is no knock on Vegas. The demon Democrats I'm about to tell you about are everywhere across America. The proof was on display on Wednesday morning at the Clark County Commission meeting in Las Vegas. Guess who opened this official government meeting with an invocation? Not a Catholic priest, not a Christian pastor, not a Jewish rabbi. Can you guess? Drum roll, please. The Democrat-dominated county commission asked a representative of the Satanic Temple to give the opening prayer. Yes, a Satan worshiper led the prayer to open a public government meeting. Literally, a demonic Satan worshiper with devil's horns on its head. Is it a guy or a girl? I don't even know. The it with horns on its head. And the Democrat commissioners all bowed their heads as this demonic witch led the prayer. All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the root is on fire. And by the way, by the time we get back on from the holiday, right, back on the holiday from Memorial Day weekend, wonderful day to celebrate all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful men and women who have sacrificed their lives for our country. Monday's the official day, Memorial Day. We'll be back on Tuesday. And when we get back, I'll have news about my new book. It might be ready to be released on Tuesday, but certainly early next week it should be out. We were just on the phone today with Amazon straightening out some problems, but my new book should be out early next week. Hopefully we get back on Tuesday. I also want to report that Turning Point contacted me in the break to let me know that guy, that demon from the Satanic Temple that I've been talking about so much for the last 48 hours, he really has nothing to do with Las Vegas. He's not a Las Vegan. He was flown in just to cause trouble and bring national attention to the battle between Christians and demons and to try and embarrass evangelical Christians. This was all a setup from day one. It never had anything to do with Vegas. This guy isn't from Vegas, and this guy is a troublemaker flown in just to get national attention. Of course, if he had done it in Detroit, nobody would have cared. No one gives a damn about Detroit or Cleveland. They care about Las Vegas. Las Vegas, the name Las Vegas is controversial. The name Las Vegas is attention-getting. Whatever happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. It gets attention all over the world. So this was an attempt to get attention by Satanists and by people who belong to Satanic Temple and by people who believe in Satan over God. And look at the attention it's gotten from Wayne Root, who got the #1 story at the Gateway Pundit, and it's being passed around all over the United States. All right, my guest is here, Ben Bergquam. He's the host of Law and Border on Real America's Voice TV. He's the founder of FrontlineAmerica.com, and he's a good friend of Wayne Allyn Root. Ben Bergquam, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
Hey, good. Great to be with you again, Wayne.
I haven't seen you enough lately. You and I are such good friends when we see each other, but I haven't seen you in a lifetime. I'll bet it's been like a year or close to it, like 9 months since I've seen you. So I'm sorry, man. You got to get to Vegas. We got to get together and have dinner. Always enjoy seeing you.
Yeah, soon. Well, I got a border trip coming up. I'll try to skirt up and hit Vegas too on my way.
All right, good. Because my wife Cindy loves you too, so we gotta go. We gotta take you to dinner. We gotta take you to Piero's, my favorite restaurant. We have a lot of fun there. All right, so you were just in Broward County, Florida, and captured an incredible moment on camera. And I talked about this on my show yesterday, and then I saw it was your name involved. And I told Andrew, my EP, my executive producer, I said, Andrew, we got to get Ben on because this is one hell of a story. An illegal alien crashed his car, and right by the scene where police were arresting another illegal alien driver. Describe what happened and then tell us what it means, because I know what I think it means. On yesterday's show, I said, it means like 1 out of every cars must be an illegal alien in most big cities. They're everywhere. Things like that just don't happen as a coincidence. 1 in a million, 1 in a billion.
That's right.
That was because there's illegals in every other car, for God's sakes. We're inundated by them. Go ahead, tell me your side of the story.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, this is anecdotal, but we were out on a 287G operation for 3 days. The first day we were out, the video you're talking about was on the second day. The first day we were out, the first 6 vehicles we stopped. Now, these are being stopped by Florida Highway Patrol. They are leading the operation. in conjunction with ICE. So what happens is on these 287G operations, the law enforcement, they go out and do their routine traffic stops. Somebody doesn't use their blinker, they change lanes, they're speeding, driving without a seatbelt, all of these things, missing too dark of tints, whatever it is, they pull them over. And then in that course of the investigation, if they figure out that they may be here illegally, then they bring ICE to get involved with it. In the first 6 stops we made on the first day, this is just law enforcement. It's not targeted. It's simply stopping people for driving bad. The first 6 stops, 5 of the vehicles had illegals in them.
Oh my God.
5 of the vehicles. So to give you an idea, and I've done this all over the country, the numbers are staggering. It wouldn't shock me at all if we're somewhere between 60 and 100 million illegals in this country, but we really just don't know. But the bottom line is they're all over our country. And that video you saw, we were same thing. We had pulled one vehicle over, found out that that driver was illegal. In the course of doing the investigation, as we were about to arrest him, another illegal hits the back of another car. He rear ends a car, causing a chain reaction. Another truck rear ends him. We do the investigation. He's illegal as well, driving without a license, driving without insurance. He'd been arrested multiple times for driving without a license. Thank God this time, though, we had ICE on the scene to pick him up. Now he's in ICE custody. But think about this, Wayne. This is in Florida. This is a non-sanctuary state. This is a state that works with ICE, that allows their law enforcement. Their sheriffs are out there with us as well. They allow them to work together. And you can see it works. But it is the problem, the magnitude of the problem is so massive that it's gonna take 1,000 years of this to deal with this problem. And then you compare that to states like Illinois and California and New York, who are obstructing ICE from doing their job, where illegals are running to. The problem is so great. And you're right, it was one instance, but I've seen it in other locations. We've had other stops where we stopped one guy. One guy tried to jump the median to get around us. Law enforcement stopped him. He was illegal as well. 2 cars back, there was another illegal. We had one stop where there were 3 illegals in one stop. It's like this all over the country, and the sanctuary jurisdictions are even worse.
Right. My gut instincts on this show have been as good as anyone, I think, in the history of the media. I mean, I've been right about everything I ever predict. And I'm telling you, I kept telling people, my gut was, when all the experts kept saying there were 12 million illegals in the United States, we're talking about, 20 years ago. And I kept saying, no, there aren't 12. There's more like 20 to 30 million, somewhere in that range. The 12 is ridiculous undercount. And then Biden, they claim he brought in 6 to 10 million. No, he brought in 20 to 30 million, somewhere in that range. Again, nobody knows exactly. But if you take the 20 to 30 million range, and let's say 25 million, and you take what I predicted before, that we already had 30, that's 55 million illegals, and it could be as high as 60 million in the United States. And then your number, you said, could be 100 million. Well, add in the legal immigrants that have come in the last 30 years, and then you probably get up to 75 to 100 million of immigrants total. And I like legal immigrants, but still, these are all people that were not born in the United States. There's only 300 odd million people in America. What is it, 330 million, 340 million? So 1 out of every 3 people is come here, born in another country, and come here in the last 30 years. Those numbers are insane. No other country in the world's been invaded like this.
No, and they're unsustainable. This is clearly an invasion. This is a recolonization, a global colonization of America, and it's being directed by the leftists. It's all part of the global reset, the Great Reset, World Economic Forum. This is the new way to redistribute wealth to other countries, to foreign nations, to third world countries. They realize instead of us just having to pay these countries, we can just have them invade, and then they get all of the benefits along with it. That is what's happening, and it's intentional.
And it's also a new way to capture America. In other words, Mexico doesn't have to fight a war with America and win and take over America. They just send the whole Mexico to America, and they all go on welfare, and they've taken over a whole country. And that's what's happening. It's truly amazing. Look, I said for years that my college classmate, who was never there, by the way, I don't believe for a second he actually was at Columbia, but he graduated on the same day as I did. Columbia said Barack Hussein Obama was my college classmate. He graduated on the same day, theoretically. Our names are close to each other, O, Obama, R, Root. We were right next to each other in the yearbook, right next to each other on the graduation day. It says, O, Obama, there's one other guy, and then Wayne Allyn Root. So I've always said he learned something, whether he was at Columbia or not. The thing that everyone knew at that point was Cloward Pivot.
Right.
And Cloward Piven had a plan to destroy America and make it a socialist nation. And their plan was you overwhelm the system by getting everyone on welfare and food stamps and disability and 1,000 other government programs. And pretty soon the country goes under, the economy collapses, and you've got a socialist nation. When everyone begs the government to save them, big government takes over. Well, I've said for years now, Ben, I've said that Obama updated this plan. And he said, we're never going to get everyone in America on welfare, but we can open the borders and bring everyone in the world who wants welfare in. And that's exactly what's happened. That's the plan. And they're all here and they're all on welfare. You know, so I'm sick of people saying only deport the criminals. You got to deport everyone who's ever been, all of them, but especially criminals and anyone's on welfare. That's all of them. Yeah. That's it right there. That is all of them. They're all on welfare. Even the nice ones who are mowing your lawn right now and you think, well, they work hard for a living. They all figured out how to what's the word I'm looking for? Jig the system, you know? They all know while they're mowing lawns, they're getting food stamps, they're getting earned income tax credits, they're getting free housing allowances. They're all on the dole. I don't care how nice you think they are. The Democrat Party has taught them all to take welfare. Don't you think pretty much 100% of illegals get some sort of welfare in this country?
Yes, absolutely. If it's not them directly, it's the kids that they have.
Family.
That they brought
Their
in
family.
as the anchors. Yeah. But and another thing to consider on that, we've arrested hundreds that I've been a part of, hundreds of illegals that were doing these farm labor jobs, that were doing construction jobs, that were doing, in one case on this operation, painters. Almost all of them have a criminal record in America. There's a reason why they're doing those jobs. They say they're doing jobs Americans won't do. The reality is they're doing jobs for slave wages because they can't get jobs in other sectors. And oftentimes because they have criminal records. Those are the people that you're inviting into your house if you don't hire an American contractor or an American employee to come in. That's what we're up against. And you're right. They're gaming the system in every way possible. They're being coached on how to do it by the same organizations that are profiting off the invasion when people like Joe Biden are in office.
And let me tell you a little secret, too. I could tell you this is going on. The police have been infiltrated. I'm talking about the leadership, not the average cop, but the leadership. So many police chiefs and their underlings in this country that run their police departments are going along with not announcing that the person they arrested is illegal. So when they ask you, are you white, are you black, are you legal, are you illegal, the only thing, they have forms now, and they count everybody as white who isn't black. So if you're an illegal alien or you're Latino, they count you as white. That's why you don't realize how many illegals are in the criminal system and how many illegals have criminal records, because they were counted as whites, and no one realizes how many Latino criminals are out there and how many other forms of illegals from other countries are out there. Ben, can we grab you for one more segment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Ben Bergquam, FrontlineAmerica.com, his show on Real America's Voice, Law and Border. My buddy, Ben, we'll be right back. All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn is with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans here in America for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to greatpatriotstore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. Greatpatriotstore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pentaco Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. Hi, this... All right, Wayne Allyn Root, a bit of sad news to report to you. I mean, very sad news. Kyle Busch, a NASCAR legend, a Las Vegas NASCAR legend, Vegas boy, dead at 41 years old. He had to cancel his appearance at a major NASCAR race this weekend because he was hospitalized with a mystery severe illness that was just reported this morning that he was not going to be at the race. He was in the hospital with severe illness. No one knows what it was. No one had any idea. 760 races during a storied 24-year career. Wife, 2 children. His 2 sons, 11 and 4 years old. No father. Wow. Can you imagine being born into this world? Your dad is a NASCAR legend. How lucky you are. 4 years ago, and 4 years later, you're 4 years old. Your daddy's gone. You'll never see him again. Wow. That is a heartbreaker. That is a stunner. Kyle Busch dead at 41 years old. I wonder what happened. Wow. All right. Let me get to the sponsor. It's funny because, we have each segment planned with the sponsor. It's not like I bring it up at the last second or I pick it out of a list of 20 and I just grabbed it by mistake. Energized Health was the sponsor of this segment. I didn't know we were going to be talking about a famous legend who died from a mystery illness, but I mean, health is wealth. Health is everything in life, everything. I'll be very brief on this one. It changed my life. There I was 15 years ago, 50 years old, and here I am today, 15 years later, 65 years old in the gym. And I'm telling you, it changed my life. I look younger now than 15 years ago. It reversed aged me. It's been my fountain of youth and a fountain of health. Energized Health, just go to their website, energizedhealth.com. Energizedhealth.com, just say WAR. When you speak to them, Wayne Allyn Root, and you get 40% off, and you go on the same journey as me, energizedhealth.com, and the promo code that unlocks the savings is WAR for Wayne Allyn Root. You got to get healthy because, God, you can't do this to your children growing up without a daddy. All right, we're back with Ben Bergquam. I wanted to grab him for a few more questions. Ben is the host of Law and Border on Real America's Voice, founder of Frontline America. A real stunner, Kyle Busch, huh? I'm a NASCAR fan. That is stunning and tragic and sad. What the hell happened? Wow.
Yeah, no, sad news. He was, I mean, NASCAR in general, they're patriots. They love this country. Kyle was one of those guys that just loved America. So, yeah,
Yes,
pray for
he
his
is.
family.
Good point. Good point. All of them are big raving Trump MAGA guys, and and a Vegas guy too. He's a local. All right. So here's my question. When you came across all these illegals in these car accidents, the specific one we're talking about in Florida, one guy's been in an accident, he's illegal. A new guy comes along, has an accident, he's illegal. First of all, were they taken into custody? And second of all, did they cooperate with the police? Were they nice? Were they vicious? Did they try and hurt somebody? What was the reaction? What happened exactly?
Well, in this case, the one you saw right there, they were cooperative. He actually, I think it kind of surprised him that he got arrested. He had been arrested multiple times before that. I think it was surprised him that he got put into ICE custody. He'd been arrested, as you mentioned, even in Florida, some of these counties and some of the cities and municipalities, even though they're not a sanctuary jurisdiction, try to not inform ICE. So if ICE doesn't know they're in their custody, then ICE doesn't know to go pick them up. In this case, both the guys were picked up, they were taken in, but all day long, it was vehicle after vehicle, bailouts. These guys are jumping out of the cars. They're running into the streets. They're running into the forest. It's nonstop. So it's a mixed bag. But on this operation, this 3-day operation, I'd say about 25% of them tried to flee in some manner or another, tried to obstruct the law enforcement doing their job. But in every case I was a part of, we caught all but one. One guy escaped and one of the runners escaped. But out of the 20 plus stops we made and arrests we made, all but one we apprehended.
I saw the latest news was out today, Ben, that so far Trump has gotten rid of 3 million illegals or so, somewhere in that vicinity, and that's or maybe it's 4 million illegals, because he's deported 900,000, close to 1 million, and then I think it said 3 million have left voluntarily. They've collected the money that Trump offered them and the free plane flight, and they've left the country. So I guess it's 3 million of self-deported, and just under 1 million have been deported. So that's a total of 4. But at that rate, we're just never going to get rid of them by the time Trump's gone. And if God forbid we get a Democrat after that, you're not going to get rid of any more.
And can keep this in mind, most of those self-deportations where they use the CBP Home app, Biden had the CBP One app inviting illegals in. President Trump started the CBP Home app to send them back. Every time we did a surge, ICE did a surge in a major city in America, the number of CBP Home applications to go back to self-repatriate skyrocketed. That's why the left targeted the surge operation so hard. And it's sad because they've done a fairly effective job at keeping them out now of places like Minneapolis and Chicago. Now, the ICE operations are continuing there, but the majority of those CBP Home recipients that decided, hey, I've had enough. I just want to go back. And by the way, if you do that, you have an option to then apply to come back legally. If you don't do that and you get deported, you can never come back again. So this is one of those things that some people took advantage of that. But everything the left is doing is trying to prevent that, to keep all of the illegals here. To answer your question, yes, this is going to take decades to fix the problem that we're in right now.
Stall. That's what they do all the time. That's what Iran is doing. I think Democrats are in cahoots with Iran. They're telling them, stall. Trump has midterms coming up. Stall. These people are traitors to our country, Ben. We got to run. Where are you going next, by the way? Where's your next stop?
I'll be actually, I'm heading to Dallas for the Memorial Day celebration, and then I'll be back on the road with Border Patrol, doing a Border Patrol operation for about a week.
All right, we got to run. Ben Bergquam, founder of FrontlineAmerica.com, TV show Law and Border on Real America's Voice TV on my network. Thank you, Ben. God bless you. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. Coming to you from Las Vegas, this is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. This is the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, and I am the biggest MAGA mouth in the world. We got a great guest. Dinesh D'Souza is with us. Dinesh, we appreciate you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Wayne.
Buckle up your seatbelts. Let's go to war. I'm an SOB, son of a butcher, and America has been great to me. Only in America could these things happen. People like my grandfather wouldn't make it where he came from, and my father wouldn't make it in any other country. Well, that's a no-brainer, right? We're the greatest nation in the history of civilization. No one else has ever come close.
Good to see you again, Wayne.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be back with you, my friend.
Doing great, Wayne. Good to be here. The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time, 3 to 5 p.m. West Coast time every day. This is the Wayne-stream media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne-stream media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. As many of you know, I'm an idea man. I don't just criticize like 99% of TV and radio hosts. I contribute with doable solutions. The American people don't like it. I know. I speak to them.
people who believe in themselves and believe in this country and have a passion and a love for this country. And this country responds in kind by giving the most incredible mobility and opportunity in the world. And that's because of low taxes and very light regulation. Those are the two things in life that matter to me, taxes and regulation. If you don't have a lot of laws, a lot of woke laws, and a lot of communist, Marxist, socialist, leftist laws, and you don't have high taxes, then anybody who's smart can get ahead and achieve whatever they want in life.
Warning! The root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root from Las Vegas. And as I mentioned in hour number one, we had just gotten on the air and heard some horrible news that Kyle Busch is dead. 41 years old, one of the greatest NASCAR drivers ever, a legend in car racing from Las Vegas, by the way. I don't mean to be a homer, but, you know, he's one of the biggest stars ever from Las Vegas, born and raised here. His family still lives here, hospitalized with a severe illness yesterday, dropped out of the race this weekend, and all of a sudden we find out in the last hour he has died. 41 years old with an 11-year-old and 4-year-old sons. Very sad, very tragic, and just brings tears to my eyes, man. Just breaks your heart. 41 years old, gone. Scary. Health is everything, man. Health is wealth. All right, we got a late-breaking news guest with us. He let us know something as big is going on, and so we decided to have him come on in the first segment of hour number one, unplanned, last-second edition. Good friend of the show, Jerome Corsi, constantly working with the Trump White House for election integrity, and we've got him. Jerome, how are you? Hello.
I'm great, Wayne. It's great to be back with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So tell us what this big news is. My understanding is there's some breaking news you've got for us.
Well, I want to put in context that today the announcements of the fraud in Minneapolis is only the beginning of a campaign showing the corruption at the heart of the Democratic Party. And President Trump is on a solid track to do an executive order, an emergency order, closer to the election, which will utilize the powers of the commander-in-chief under Article 2, saying that the president has the authority to determine how the election is going to be run, that there's going to be no non-citizen, only citizens can vote, voter ID, proof of citizenship, and most likely paper ballots. Paper ballots.
Love it.
And hand count. And so President Trump is in full control. There will be a rollout. I mean, you're going to start seeing more and more of the actual corruption going behind the elections. You're going to see indictments coming out of several of the states. You're going to see evidence being produced of foreign interference, including in Venezuela. And remember, we have Maduro in custody. Mm-hmm. And both General Flynn and I have been solidly recommending that Peter Titkin be appointed Attorney General. We think Peter Titkin really knows where the bodies are.
So let me jump in. Let me jump in and play devil's advocate, because I'm a Peter Titkin fan, and he's been on my show many times. But I told him right to his face what I'm about to tell you, Jerome. You can't get him approved by the Senate. They'll never approve him. They'll never approve anyone good. This is how our country is rigged. I'm on Peter's side. I'd love him to be attorney general. But I'm saying to you, this is how the country's rigged. You've got rhino Republican senators like Murkowski and Tom Tillis and the ones that Trump just got rid of, Cassidy, and all these senators will vote against anyone who had anything to do with protecting and defending January 6ers. And Peter Tickton is one of those guys. They'll never allow the right kind of guy to be attorney general. So the guy they will allow is someone who hates January 6ers and hates you and me. And then you'll wind up with that kind of guy. And that's how Trump wound up with a Sessions and a Barr and a Bondi. They're all part of the deep state establishment. How do you overcome that?
Well, that's the whole point. If Peter Tickton is nominated and the deep state, including Thune, oppose him, Donald Trump is going to use that as further evidence that the only solution is a national security emergency declaration. So, in fact, by opposing what President Trump wants to do to clean the situation up, the Democrats and the rhino Republicans are only going to fall into the trap of themselves being exposed, where the president can use a national security declaration as a last resort to get fair elections. President Trump is not going to allow the 2026 midterms to be stolen.
And you know, Jerome, that's what I've been arguing for and screaming for from the highest mountains on this podcast, on my national TV show. I'm about to announce a second national TV show that'll be starting in early June on Real America's Voice TV network called America Speaks. I haven't even announced the date and the time of the first show yet, but by next week I'll have the date and the time. I'm on every single night starting in June, in addition to the weekend show. And on all these platforms and all these soapboxes, I've been screaming for a national security emergency declaration by the president, because John Goodman, who's my election expert, has been telling me that's the way to go. And I assume he knows exactly what he's talking about. Let's see if you agree. He says he's done the research and it can't be sued. You can't take him to court. You can only overturn a national security emergency by the president with 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. The House and the Senate both have to have 2/3 to beat it, and we know they can't get 2/3, so it will absolutely be unavoidable. It will be in place for the midterms. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yes, and I've been working also with John Goodman, and I agree with John Goodman. And John's right. He's
a good man. He's got a good name. Goodman belongs. Good name.
And the message I want to give today, that President Trump is firmly in control of the dialogue, just as he was firmly in control of the primaries we just saw. And the John Thunes and the Mitch McConnells are no longer representative of the MAGA movement, never were, but they're now being exposed for what they've been, and that is compromised rhino Republicans who are not for the United States and would just as soon be the uniparty. President Trump isn't going to put up with it. So the nomination of Peter Tickton to be Attorney General may have been designed to fail in order to expose the corruption at the heart of the system that will demand an executive order on an emergency basis in order to make sure that, and even if it includes putting in the National Guard, to make sure the states conduct fair elections. And that's shaping up, and the process of disclosures.
Great news. Great news. I mean, you're bringing us great news. Fabulous news. And the big thing is, Jerome, that President Trump not fall into the trap that everything is based on the Save America Act, which was great, but it's never going to pass, and they don't have the votes. They're not willing to kill the filibuster. And even if they did pass it, that would instantly be challenged in court with a lawsuit by the Democrats, Mark Elias and all of them. That would instantly be challenged. And you'd never get to the Supreme Court by Election Day. There's not enough time now. They should have done that a year ago. So the Save America Act will not save us. He's got to do a national security emergency declaration. Correct?
Yes, and President Trump knows that they won't pass President Trump has to support the SAVE Act, knowing that the Democrats and Thune and the rest of the Republicans will oppose it, because that again positions the necessity of a national security emergency. They're all falling into President Trump's dialogue. President Trump knows the SAVE Act isn't the end solution. But by the Democrats and Republicans rejecting and refusing to pass the SAVE Act, he's built the case for the inevitability and the necessity of a national security emergency to protect the election.
All right, that's great news. And do you believe he will nominate Peter Tickton to be the Attorney General? You believe that is going to be the final choice? I mean, I love the guy. I just don't think he could ever pass the Senate. That's all.
It's under serious consideration.
Good. He's a good choice.
Even if it's a nomination that's doomed to fail.
Right.
The point that it fails when Peter is qualified buttresses the case for a national security emergency as the only inevitable solution to getting a fair election that the Democrats don't steal.
I love it because what was amazing to me is there's so much news out there, right, all the time. We're overwhelmed by everything, Iran and everything going on in the world, Israel, Iran, that people don't even notice things. I notice little things. I noticed that Tom Tillis, who's on his way out, that rat fink rhino, useless piece of rhino lard crap. Tom Tillis actually said out loud he will never allow a nomination for Attorney General to pass through if they had anything to do with January 6th. And nobody noticed that. I saw that he said that, and I said, there's the deep state at work right there. That's their ace in the hole, is you can't get affirmed if you had anything to do with protecting, defending January 6th. And that's what they need, because they know the whole thing was a giant setup, and the whole thing was a lie and fraud, and all those people were sent to prison for no reason, and it was just a tragic clusterfuck, as they say, and it was all intentional. Nancy Pelosi, the mayor of D.C., all the Democrats got together, and they planned this thing. It was a setup from day one. And Peter Tickton was defending those January 6ers, which I love and I appreciate him for. But I said, gosh, Tom Tillis will never let him be Attorney General. So that makes sense to me now, how it's all being put together. The puzzle. Thank you for explaining the puzzle.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Donald Trump is in control of the narrative.
I love it. I love it. Jerome Corsi with some great news. How do people find you, Jerome? Give me your information.
Best go to gods5stones.com, which is my 501c3, where all the voter integrity information is posted.
Gods5stones.com?
Yes.
.com? Gods5stones.com. Hey, you're doing God's work. We appreciate you, Jerome. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you,
and
Wayne.
God bless John Goodman, who's such a great voting security expert, who's given you and me so much good advice. Thank you, John Goodman. And John arranged for Jerome to come on the show today. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you for breaking the news on War Zone Live with Wayne Allyn Root. God bless you, Jerome.
God bless you, Wayne.
We'll be right back. One chilling case involved a 22-year-old Chilean national, Kevin Diaz, charged with 18 felonies after smashing through the back door of a Rexford Drive home while a family of 4 was present. The homeowner barricaded himself in a bathroom and called for help as Diaz fled with stolen goods. Investigators linked him to at least 17 other burglaries. A female victim, home alone with her children during one intrusion, described the raw fear. When someone breaks into your home, you don't know what they want. It's terrifying. You are afraid for your life and safety. All right, so I've been telling you about Zicha Genesis Medicine, and it's medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and the number one cause of death in the world, small vessel heart disease. That form of heart disease is responsible for about 1/3 of the deaths in the world, and therefore 1/3 of everyone watching. Joining us now is the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, Dan Montano. Dan, your company's making some great medical advancements. Update on what you're doing in regard to brain disorders like Parkinson's disease.
First, Wayne, thank you for your support of yours and your people. It's been fantastic. Neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's disease, we believe, are vascular disruption in the brain. A stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's, they're all the same. But let me show you a Parkinson's patient because a video is worth 1,000 words. This is Matt Davis. You see the date, May 23. He's being asked to lift his right foot. You can see that he can't lift it because his Parkinson's is so bad. He is in a wheelchair. He cannot walk. That is May 2023. We then dosed him, and here he is, April of 25, walking by himself down the driveway. He is unassisted, walking for the first time in 4 or 5 years. Wow. But it gets better, Wayne, because after 6 more months of dosing, he's playing catch, ball back and forth. This is a person who is improving from Parkinson's, recovering, not declining like everybody else you've ever heard of. We have 250 people like him.
Dan, that is amazing. Tell my fans about Zicha's investment opportunity.
It's very simple. People invest in funding a clinical study like the one on Parkinson's. We pay them 10 times their investment over from a royalty of 50%. If they're not happy at 48 months, I pay them double their money. And this allows us to pull forward a lot of the research we've done, like chronic wounds, Parkinson's, etc.
It sounds too good to be true. How do you justify that?
Very simple. Take the type 2 diabetes. The investors put up $5 million for the study. We pay them $50 million. The marketplace applications are probably $100 billion for us over the next 7 years. Who wouldn't pay $50 million to get $100 billion?
Unbelievable. That's an amazing story. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to cure-war.com, cure-war.com. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease at the same time? That's cure-war.com. Thank you, Dan. God bless you.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
And you know, this is 2 things. Well, 3 things. Number 1, open borders. This happens because of open borders. Number 2, it happens because of liberal judges and liberal prosecutors backed by Soros that let everybody out without bail. So nobody feels like they're going to be in trouble if they rob a house. And then you have California legislators who pass some sort of bill. Again, I don't live there anymore. I've lived there in 24 years. My understanding is they passed a bill that makes robbing a home just a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. And from that point on, the home robberies exploded.
All right, Wayne Allyn Roots. The great mystery is what happened to Kyle Busch. We'll be talking about that in the coming days. What could have possibly happened to him? My rumor mill tells me, and I've got reliable sources, he had a terrible sinus infection, and it got worse, and they rushed him to the emergency room this morning, and he died. And I guess it was pneumonia. It was something terrible, and he died. And who knows what's out there? You just don't know what's out there. The Democrats desperately need another pandemic before the election. Don't tell me I'm conspiracy theory. You know I'm right. You know Democrats work with China. You know Democrats are working now with Iran. You know Democrats purposely brought, with the Chinese Communist Party, purposely brought COVID to this country to destroy the economy and destroy the jobs and destroy Trump's reelection. And while they were doing all that, he still was winning. So then they used the COVID pandemic to scare everyone to death and make everyone lock down and make everyone wear masks and make them believe they were going to die. And therefore now you have only mail-in voting. And for 99% of all liberals, mail-in voting. So millions and millions and millions of fake ballots interjected into the voting environment. And all of a sudden they're all Biden. Do you understand? In the history of the Democrat Party, they got the most votes they've ever gotten before or since. Kamala got, what, 10, 12 million less votes than Joe Biden? And before that, Obama had millions less than Joe Biden. Only Joe Biden's the great savior of the Democrat Party. He never campaigned. He went out like 5 times, and all 5 times he had 12 people in a concentric circle wearing masks standing in a circle. That was his entire audience. That was his campaign for president of the United States, hiding in the basement in Delaware. How do you think he won? He won because they interjected a pandemic into the American healthcare system, scared everyone to death, which allowed them to change voting laws, and with no voter ID and mail-in ballots. You never had to leave your house. You never had to prove who you were. And they interjected millions of fake ballots and illegal aliens voting. And that's what it took to defeat Trump, with millions and millions more votes than any Democrat ever got before, ever will get in the future. I don't care if our population goes to 380 million. They'll never get the amount of votes that Joe Biden got. What did Biden get? Like 84 million votes? Now this time Kamala got like 64. It's a joke. It's a joke. So they're looking for the same thing. If they lose the midterms, it's over for them. And you just heard the amazing breaking news on my show from Jerome Corsi. What Wayne Root's been screaming for and sending to President Trump, texting to President Trump, and sending him my columns and doing midnight texts on his cell phone, is that he's got to declare a national security emergency for elections, and he's about to do it. Jerome says he's going to wait till closer before the election, probably because the minute he does it, and Jerome said if he has to, he'll call out the National Guard. He's going to need the National Guard because liberals know they can't win without cheating. And if they can't win, they're going to be like demons, like the demon in front of the Clark County Commission yesterday with the horns on his head, saying a prayer in the name of Satan. They're going to be out like demons, and there's going to be civil war in the streets. You watch. This is going to be 2020 all over again. Remember, it wasn't just a pandemic, mass lockdown, and new laws, and fake ballots, and illegals voting. It was also rioting in the streets throughout the entire summer of 2020. Vicious, horrible Black Lives Matter riots. It's all coming again. As soon as Trump declares a national security emergency and he locks down the election so only honest votes count, the Democrats are going to come out like demons, and they're going to murder, they're going to assault, they're going to rob, they're going to riot, they're going to loot, they're going to burn. I've seen all this coming. Civil war is coming to the United States. You can't live with these people. I keep saying it in article after article. You can't live with demons in bed with Satan. That's what the Democrat Party is. And do you understand? I'm not some Christian evangelical preacher saying this. I'm Wayne Root, I don't go to church or temple. I'm not very religious. If I say it, you know it's true. They hate America and they hate Israel. The two things that are good in the history of the world, America and Israel, that are good, that are right, that are direct from God. And they hate them both because this is an attempt by the devil to take back the earth. I could see it all happening right in front of me, and it makes me pretty religious, I guess. There's really no choice. I've never been highly religious, but I become highly religious in what I believe and what I see. It's right out of the Bible, man. This is right where we're supposed to be. Good against evil, and it's going to get violent, and you better be ready to fight. Very clear what's happening. Oh, and the live read is Bond Arms. Just like the last one, Kyle Busch is dead and it's energized health. Bond Arms, introducing the Bond Arms American 250 edition handgun. American made, Texas built, precision crafted, built like a tank, performs like a hand cannon, takes shotgun shells, little gun with shotgun shells to celebrate 250 years of independence. Go to getbondarms.com, getbondarms.com. $100 off just for Wayne Root fans. $4.99 for this gun. Getbondarms.com.
Here's the good news. Here is some good news out there. First of all, major victory for South Carolina Republicans as redistricting map clears the House. So the South Carolina House of Representatives approved a new congressional map Wednesday, sending the redistricting bill to the state Senate after Democrats attempted to slow the process with hundreds of amendments. The new map, approved by the House, passed the lower chamber with a final vote of 74-36. It would create a 7-0 Republican congressional delegation by drawing out Representative Jim Clyburn, Democrat, from his current district. It's part of a special session called by South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster.
President Trump wants to make America the energy capital of the world, make America energy independent again. Here is a project that could help accomplish that, or certainly go a long way to helping accomplish it. I'm so proud to introduce you to a real America hero of the energy industry, Mark Bruner, founder and CEO of Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Mark is a second-generation oil and gas legend whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value, including Ultra Petroleum. But Lost Soldier could be bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's 40,000 acres. It took them 40 years to piece it together in Wyoming. Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Wayne.
Tell us more about Lost Soldier. What have you got?
Well, I think we've got a really big gas field. I mean, in order to understand why it's just being done now, you got to understand the history. There was a uranium mine out here, and whenever there was a meltdown by 3 Mile Island, they started reclamating this mine and shut it down. 3 years ago, I got a call that basically asked me if I would drill it because they finally got the release and the reclamation was over and they had permits to drill it. So we drilled it, and it's the biggest discovery that I've ever made, okay? It's basically deep overpressured gas. Starting at around 13,000 feet, it's like a layer cake. It's just zone after zone of overpressure is what it is. So we're very excited about it. The other great thing is that it's surrounded by infrastructure, legacy fields that are essentially run out, and billions of dollars of infrastructure is there for us to utilize, and we don't have to build it. We're building a 5 mile line to hook into that infrastructure, and we believe we can produce up to 400 million a day within 36 months to fill that line, and then we're going to build a bigger line. That's the plan, and yeah, we couldn't be more excited.
Very
about
exciting.
what we have.
Hey, Mark, listen, I want to make sure people that contact you, if they're accredited investors and they want to hear more about the project, they want to get involved, they go to lostsoldier.com. Lostsoldier.com. Mark's got a whole team. Every one of them has 40 plus years of experience in the energy and oil business, and they will contact you, call you back, or email you back.
We're going to get about 10 new seats, and no one that I know of is talking about this, unless I'm seeing this wrong, which I know I'm not. But no one else is mentioning it. That doesn't mean you added 10 seats. It means you add 20 seats, because you're taking 10 away from the Democrats, and you're electing 10 new Republicans in districts that were 10 Democrats. That's a plus 20. So Republicans have I believe it's a 6-vote lead right now, a very slim 6-vote lead, which means 3 seats in the United States House. But if you add 20 to 6, my math says 26-seat lead. Democrats aren't going to win 27 seats. As a matter of fact, I think in the whole United States, there are only something like 30 seats that could actually possibly be flipped from Republican to Democrat or Democrat to Republican. And it's not all one way, it's both parties. There's almost no seats flippable in the United States House.
The Roots on Fire. Still trying to process the death of Kyle Busch, 41 years old, and it appears from a very serious nasal infection. Do you ever hear of anyone who has a nasal infection and dies? That is a 41-year-old in great physical shape who wins car races. He just won a race 4 days ago, and when they interviewed him after the race, they said, when are you going to stop? He says, when are you going to stop racing? He said, you take all the wins you can get because you never know when it's your last race. That was 4 days ago, and it's his last race. Sponsor of this segment, my guest segment, I've got a doctor standing by the way, a brain surgeon. I guess we could ask him, a neurosurgeon. We can ask him about whether anyone ever dies in healthy shape, 41 years old, young, from a sinus infection, which is what it appears to be now. But VRA is the sponsor of the show, Vertical Research Advisory. Kip Herage left Wall Street after 15 years at the highest levels, raising hundreds of millions of dollars for startups. His global investment and economic newsletter called VRA was founded in 2003, and since then he's beaten the top performing newsletters, money managers, hedge fund managers, Goldman Sachs, you name it, he beats them all. 38% average over the last 3 years with his top picks. He calls them 10 baggers, up 38% a year, not 38% over 3 years, 38% a year each year over the last 3 years has been his average. He recommended, by the way, gold every second of the way for 23 years since it was $350 an ounce, and Bitcoin at 2,000. And so it's been an incredible run, and I've been there for every minute of it, and he's been great to me. Join now at VRAinsider.com, VRAinsider.com. You automatically get 2 weeks free when you go to VRAinsider.com. It's a site established just for my fans. 2 weeks free, and then you decide. I believe you'll decide to stay for life, and you'll pay, and the pay is very little. Very small amount of money per year to get his newsletter, and then you manage your own money. He doesn't touch your money. VRAinsider.com. All right, my guest is Dr. Ori Nagi, a neurosurgeon, a Republican candidate for Congress in Nevada CD3, now occupied by Democrat Susie Lee. His website, NagiForCongress.com, NagiForCongress.com. Dr. Nagi is a neurosurgeon. Have you heard of cases where someone gets a bad sinus infection, they rush to the emergency room, 41 years old, young, healthy, great shape, just won a race, and they're dead within hours? Have you ever? I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, well, there are two ways that happens commonly. One is where they've had an infection that has eroded through the base of the skull, and the abscess is in contact with the brain. And if it breaches the blood-brain barrier, suddenly they can become very sick very quickly, and it's life-threatening very, very fast.
Wow.
The other version is if they've been swimming in a freshwater lake and they get amoebiasis. And that's an amoeba parasite that get into the brain and start to devour their brain. Awful.
Good point. Fresh water does that. Wow. So you've lived in Vegas for 50 years now. You've been a long-time successful neurosurgeon, and now you're running for Congress to help fix healthcare in America. So what are your plans to fix healthcare?
I think there are three things that I want to do. I've been working in Las Vegas for the last 3-4 years now on building a biotech incubator to speed development of drugs and to reduce the cost of testing. Well, that's the biggest reason that pharmaceutical costs are so high in this country, is because testing is so expensive. If we can reduce those costs, we reduce the cost of healthcare. I want to reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals for seniors. I want to roll the cost of their drugs into Medicare Part A, and they should get that included. And that's going to go a long way to improving affordability. I've had too many patients who have to choose between rent or food or their medications this month, and it's just heartbreaking. And the final thing I want to do for healthcare is I have a plan to convert healthcare back to mutual insurance companies. That aligns the incentives of the CEO back with the patient. It's in contrast to what we've got currently, where the healthcare is through the publicly traded firms. It'll keep hundreds of millions of dollars within our states and prevent it going to shareholders in China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the central banks of Europe.
President Trump's top priority, certainly the reason he was elected, other than inflation, his top priority would have been securing the border, and he's done that, and mass deportation. He started that, but the reality is that there's a lot of people you got to get out of this country, and we've just barely started when you really look at the numbers. So what do you think of the job he's done, and what else needs to be done?
You know, I have to say I'm so proud of the work that our president has done in securing the border. The number of illegal immigrants coming into our country is down to a mere trickle, and the number of fentanyl deaths has cratered. The number of Americans who died from a Chinese-made fentanyl that's smuggled into our country by the drug cartels has killed more Americans now than all of the wars since the Revolutionary War, all the wars combined.
Wow.
And the fact that he was able to put a stop to that is just a tremendous credit to his courage and his determination. I think the work that needs to be done is some of the work that he started already is going after the cartels in Mexico. The Mexican government is incapable of doing that on their own. And the Mexican cartels that kill thousands of Mexicans every month, that bribe American judges and district attorneys and politicians are a threat to American safety and sovereignty. And they represent a clear and present danger to the United States of America. And using force to go in and disrupt the cartels will allow Mexico to align itself more clearly with American policies. And that will allow us to renegotiate important treaties. What's important in Nevada is the water treaty that we have with them. We may be able to set up a desalination plant down in Baja and trade the water that we desalinate for them for their share of the Colorado River. And that will be a big bonus to development in Nevada.
It's funny you say that. I've been arguing that for years. You know, I happen to be of Jewish descent, and Israel has no water problem, even though they're in the middle of the desert. And it's because they've got 6 major desalination plants, and I believe 36 small desalination plants that feed off those 6 major ones. And here we have California next to the Pacific Ocean. We have all the water in the world. Vegas is running out of water. LA's running out of water. San Diego's running out of water. Phoenix is running out of water. Tucson's running out of water. They're all fed by Lake Mead and the Colorado River. And all we need to do is build a desalination plant. So good idea. You're saying build it in Mexico. Don't worry about California and pipe it up to Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, I don't think you need to even pipe it. I think we just swap out the water. They have a share of the water rights for the Colorado River. So we just swap their share for the water that we desalinate for them in Mexico. I just don't think it's possible to do business with the, the Communist Republic of California.
I know.
Unless they get a Republican governor in this next cycle, we will be stuck with, it'll be easier to work with Mexico and conquer their country.
You know what's funny, Dr. Nagi? You can't even get a permit to rebuild a house that burns to the ground. How are you going to get a permit to build a desalination plant? You know, you can't even get a house permit. They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Where do you stand on voter ID? Obviously a very big issue.
You know, our president is 100% correct in the need to secure the elections. So many people have lost faith in their government and they feel like their votes don't count. And it's been so clear that so many of these elections have been stolen shamelessly by people of the Democratic Party. And the need to have proof of American citizenship and visual ID, it's 80% of Americans agree that this is the right thing on both sides of the aisle. It's common sense, and I will be happy to be a supporter of the SAVE Act if they can't get it past this cycle.
So I don't mean to be rude here. I mean to be just a tough questioner. You were a Democrat not long ago. And you contributed to Democrats not long ago. As a matter of fact, you contributed to Kamala Harris. So why would my listeners and my viewers and my fans suddenly believe you're a convert to MAGA and the Republican Party? Give us your best pitch, why you made the change and why they should vote for you and why you could beat Susie Lee.
Well, if I have one flaw, it's that I was born a Democrat. And it took me a lot longer than a lot of your listeners to see the light and come to the right side. But like Donald Trump and like Ronald Reagan, I've finally come to realize that the Republicans see things in the right way. And the water really is warmer over here and the grass really is greener. During that period of time from 2020 to 2024, the COVID pandemic was underway. And during that period of time, there were generic drugs that could save lives. And I was fighting to protect doctors who were writing for those prescriptions. And there's no reason I should have been fighting. Our government was preventing people from accessing life-saving medications. And I spent a lot of time trying to get anybody in the state, at the state, federal, local levels, to listen, to get their attention. And the only way to get their attention is to donate to their campaigns, to give even 5 minutes of their time. And not a single one of them paid attention. And there are thousands of people dead in Las Vegas because of their actions. And then later on, after that, when I was president of the Board of Medical Examiners and people were complaining that they were getting injured by the vaccines, and I wrote to the FDA and found out that with their own information that the vaccines were actually more dangerous than catching COVID. Right. So I tried to stop the use of the vaccines in our state, and I tried again to talk to anybody because all the power brokers in Southern Nevada who had the ability to make laws at that time, they were all Democrats. These are the only people you could talk to. And not a single one of them listened. And there are so many Americans now suffering because it's over 1.2 million Americans died unnecessarily in this country. The Democrats took away a life when they prevented people from using those medications. They took away liberty when they forced you to wear a mask and forced you to get a vaccine if you wanted to continue to work and feed your family. They took away the pursuit of happiness when they prevented you from visiting your loved ones when they were sick, from going to your churches, and from going to concerts. When government takes away life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the Declaration of Independence defines that government as a tyranny. and people had turned our government into a tyranny. And I have set myself resolutely to remove all of those people from office. They need to be held accountable.
You know, I'm laughing as I ask this question, but after you gave them money to try and get their attention and make your case, did any of them even pay attention to you then? I'll bet not even then, right?
Not a single one. Not a single. It was so disappointing. It was so shameful, despicable. Yeah, I have so much anger about that entire period of time, and a deep amount of regret for attempting to support those people. But I don't regret attempting to do everything I could to save the lives of my patients.
Well, I'm a Big Tent guy, so I welcome you to our side. It's good to have you on our side. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you running for CD3 to try and win it for the Republican Party. It's a very close district. It can be won by a Republican. Dr. Ori Nagi is the one taking him on. Dr. Ori Nagi, Republican candidate for Congress in Nevada's 3rd congressional district, CD3, now occupied by Democrat Susie Lee with one of the worst ratings in America. I think she's at 2% lifetime agreement with the Republican Party, 98% against us. His website, NagiForCongress.com. Dr. Nagi, thanks for coming on. God bless you.
Thanks for having me, Wayne.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root from Vertical Research Advisory, VRA. Kip Herage's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up. Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com. Trump wants to make America the energy capital of the world, make America energy independent again. Here is a project that could help accomplish that, or certainly go a long way to helping accomplish it. I'm so proud to introduce you to a real America hero of the energy industry, Mark Bruner, founder and CEO of Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Mark is a second-generation oil and gas legend whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value, including Ultra Petroleum. But Lost Soldier could be bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's 40,000 acres. It took them 40 years to piece it together in Wyoming. Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Wayne.
Tell us more about Lost Soldier. What have you got?
Well, I think we've got a really big gas field. I mean, in order to understand why it's just being done now, you got to understand the history. There was a uranium mine out here, and whenever there was a meltdown by 3 Mile Island, they started reclamating this mine and shut it down. 3 years ago, I got a call that basically asked me if I would drill it because they finally got the release and the reclamation was over and they had permits to drill it. So we drilled it, and it's the biggest discovery that I've ever made. Okay, it's basically deep overpressured gas. Starting at around 13,000 feet, it's like a layer cake. It's just zone after zone of overpressure is what it is. So we're very excited about it. The other great thing is that it's surrounded by infrastructure, legacy fields that are essentially run out, and billions of dollars of infrastructure is there for us to utilize, and we don't have to build it. We're building a 5-mile line to hook into that infrastructure, and we believe we can produce up to 400 million a day within 36 months to fill that line, and then we're going to build a bigger line. That's the plan, and yeah, we couldn't be more excited, Wayne, about what we have.
Hey, Mark, listen, I want to make sure people that contact you, if they're accredited investors and they want to hear more about the project, they want to get involved, they go to lostsoldier.com. Lostsoldier.com. Mark's got a whole team. Every one of them has 40 plus years of experience in the energy and oil business, and they will contact you, call you back, or email you back. This is Wayne Allen Root. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at greatpatriotstore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com. All right, Wayne on the route. You know, I'm telling you, the Democrats are possessed by demons. They are doing Satan's bidding. They are the army of Satan. There's something wrong with them. Look at this story. It's a lead story at Fox News, other than Kyle Busch's death at the age of 41. That's the big story at Fox News and the Daily Mail and the New York Post and every media in the world, because he's a huge superstar of racing. And every once in a while, it's huge news that a superstar of racing dies in a car accident. You don't expect him to die of a nasal infection in the emergency room of a hospital. It's shocking. It's stunning. It's just knocks you unconscious here. It's really amazing how good this guy Kyle Busch was and how beautiful and young his children are, and he's gone. He's gone. He'll never raise his 11-year-old son, see him again. He'll never raise his 4-year-old daughter. I thought it was a 4-year-old son. He had a name that could have been a boy's name, but it's a girl. So he's got a 11-year-old son and a 4-year-old girl, and they're never going to see their daddy again. And I don't know how you tell these kids that. I have no idea how you tell them that. I'm still getting over the death of my dog, Buddy. my dog died last October, and my wife and I are still kind of depressed over it. I can't even, thank God Bubba's still around. I got my big golden doodle, but Buddy, our Labradoodle, died last October. And my wife had him about, 12 years, and I was here for 10 of them. So he was a big part of our lives. And Buddy's gone, but I don't know how you tell a little child that they will never speak to their father again, until the day they go to heaven, maybe 100 years from now. They'll never see their father again or speak to their father again. It's heartbreaking. It really is. And that's the big news story. But another news story besides that is female Democrats revolting over the wording in the Women's History Museum. House Democrats unanimously rebelled against legislation today directing the construction of a new Women's History Museum on the National Mall. You'd think they'd be thrilled about a Women's History Museum, right? Women Democrats are not thrilled. You know why? They sought to defeat the bill after Republicans limited the institution only to biological women and excluded transgenders. It's truly amazing that these people fight for transgenders, for trannies, like it's the only thing that matters in life. Illegals who rape and murder women, they love them. And they fight for trannies, they love them. The kind of trannies that will shoot you dead in the street in a mass murder. The kind of trannies in a prison cell that impregnate and beat women. It's just so bizarre that I think they're possessed by the devil. This is Satan. Nobody likes transgenders. This is Satan. They're trying to destroy our country. Look at this one. Seattle LGBT Commission demands taxpayer-funded housing and state of emergency for trans refugees fleeing Republican states. The socialist mayor promises action despite her $175 million budget deficit in Seattle. And despite the fact, by the way, that she has forced out every major corporation, including Starbucks, the big coffee one, right? I don't drink coffee, so it took me a second to remember Starbucks. You know how often I've been in a Starbucks in my life? Like 3 or 4 times in my life at an airport to get a bottle of water. I don't drink coffee, so I have nothing to do with Starbucks. But obviously lots of people like Starbucks and lots of people drink coffee at Starbucks. And they were formed and founded and built in Seattle. That's their home. and the owner of the company is worth billions, and he just left Seattle. I believe he moved to Florida because he doesn't want to pay the Seattle millionaires tax. And now I think he's taking Starbucks out of Seattle. They don't want to be there anymore because the mayor is such a vicious witch. But Seattle's LGBT commission is calling on the socialist mayor to declare a formal state of emergency of what it calls a trans relocation crisis. And is this, oh my God, they're making me cough. Is this anything like Trump's election emergency? I can't take it. There's an emergency. Transgenders are running from red states. It's an emergency. Our nation is falling apart. Transgenders can't live in Idaho. It's an emergency. Oh my God. A trans relocation crisis. And they're demanding the city. This is funny stuff. This is comedy. They're demanding the city provide free housing and taxpayer-funded salaries for trans activist groups to support thousands of transgender individuals allegedly fleeing red states. And you people are such a joke. You have no idea what a joke you really are. And Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, who, you know, in a completely Democrat city, is hanging on by a thread with the threat of Spencer Pratt to beat her. She says she needs to explore letting non-citizens vote. See, we always knew it was going to come to this. They always said we'll never let illegals get health insurance, and now they've given them all free health insurance. And we'll never let illegals vote, and you know they're voting. But now they want to officially, legally, let non-citizens vote, because that's the only way they can win elections. Trump's national emergency will stop that dead cold in its tracks, and that's why there's going to be riots and civil war. You watch. They're going to respond with riots, revolution, and civil war. This show is sponsored by Zicha Genesis Medicine. They've got medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's, and small vessel heart disease, the #1 cause of death in the world. To get this medicine to market, they're seeking investors to fund more medical research studies. They're offering investors a royalty of 50% of cash received. Just go to cure-war.com, cure-war.com to find out more, cure-war.com. That's it for tonight. Have a great night. God bless you. Have a great holiday. Bye-bye, everyone. Happy Memorial Day.
What would you say if we told you you could reverse most any ailment or symptom
without painful exercises in just 88 days? We have created the only patent-pending intercellular hydration protocol.
Don't miss your opportunity to feel better. We know there's a lot of false hope out there, and many people have bought programs that work for a moment, but life's a lot longer than a moment.
We have been helping people gain intercellular hydration for nearly 3 decades.
You will lose fat, not weight, fat, fast, including that killer visceral fat. Chronic dehydration is one of the root causes of many ailments and symptoms. Ask your doctor about Energized Health. Don't miss your opportunity to transform your health now.
So log on to energizedhealth.com. That's energizedhealth.com.
Possible side effects may include increased joy, energy, potential reduction in prescriptions, more fulfilling relationships, fewer doctor visits, and overall improved quality of health and life.